This is Mike, CTMTV in the house. Another episode of Tech Talk. What we're going to talk about today is landing the first IT job. Is it difficult? Is it hard? Or is it patience and endurance? Really, it's all of those. It could be all of those. So I have a slideshow so I can just, you don't have to just watch me talk and bore out the whole time. But we finna get into it. Trying to land that first IT job. And before I get into that, let me, about me. I've been in the IT field for over a decade. I want to share my insights and experience about my journey in the IT field and how technology has benefited me to be able to explore and learn great things that expanded my mind. I grew up in Southwest Little Rock, Arkansas. I am a husband and a father of 2 kids. My goal is to share things I have learned through the experience and trials to that person who just needs the information to make an informed decision on if they want to get into the IT field as a career. It is my thing that sometimes we don't have all the information present to make informed decisions. And a lot of times we make decisions on the fly. How can we change that? Well, for me, I'm thinking people in different career fields can share insight. I know that's what I'm doing. I want to share the insights of working with IT, not just the generic information, just broad, like day to day. I'm trying to get up to that point. I'm trying to get you to that point and share those day to day IT situations that you deal with. But before you even get there, you have to get that first job, get your foot in the door. Get your feet wet. So let's get back to the slideshow. So what skills that will help you in the IT field? And I think these will help you across the board in any career field, but definitely IT, where I work, being self-driven, self-motivated. Because sometimes you're in environments by yourself doing things. You might not have another person next to you to bounce ideas off of. So you have to be able to be self-driven, self-motivated. Another skill is you have to be good and you have to want to troubleshoot even when you don't feel like it. Learning how to solve problems. Sometimes it's not about focusing on the problem, it's about focusing on the solution. How do you get to the solution? Do you look at forums? Do you look at Google? Now AI is a tool to use now. How do you get to the solution to solve the problem? Troubleshooting. Time management. Like I say, you might not be in a cubicle. You might have your own office. It's just you in there. How do you manage your day? How do you manage your task at work? Time management is probably one of the most important things in any job and as an adult, but definitely in IT, time management is important. Another one is adaptability. A lot of times you may start out in one thing, but you may end up learning and doing another thing. Can you adapt to change? Can you try something new? Can you learn something new? Or are you so rigid that you can't adapt? The more you can adapt, the more your value will increase. I'll tell you that. The more you can adapt, the more your value can increase. I'll let you think about that one. So, looking for that first job in IT, where do you look? You have to, what I did was, I know back in the day when I was in high school, this wasn't as prevalent then, but now job search engines are the way to find local IT jobs, jobs that are in the vicinity that you want to work. One of the things that I always try to tell young kids is you want to find something that's not so far of a commute. If you don't have stable transportation, maybe you have to take transit or public transportation, or maybe you can carpool, but getting on a job engine and finding something that's in the vicinity that you can get to consistently. Time management, right? Getting there on time. Indeed, I think is one. There are many others. Dice, Indeed. Some people use Career Builder still, Monster.com, Glassdoor. So many job search engines out there. You just have to find one that you like. You have to find one that you can look at all of them. It doesn't matter, but just finding stuff in Little Rock. I know I live in Little Rock, so finding stuff that's in the vicinity where I work. And I think it's city to city with Indeed. If you in any city, I mean, you can, if they got a job posting, you can find it. So some places you still got to go, and they say like government jobs, like the state, city. Sometimes their stuff be on Indeed, but they mostly have it on their website. Being able to look at company websites as well will help you out as well. Resume. Having a resume helps you out a lot because it gives somebody that don't know you kind of a guide of where you are experience-wise, education-wise, and your skill set. So be sure to build you a good resume. There are a lot of templates out there. I think you can go to Canva and probably get a free template and just type in. You just have to do the work and type in and make it sound presentable to what you're trying to do. Like working in IT, how do you present your personality and your skills? So with the cover letter, this pretty much summarizes or introduces your personality and your experience to the company that's looking at your resume before they get to your resume. It kind of gives a background of who you are, and you can put in there why would you fit or you're interested in the position that you apply for. That's why it's called the cover letter, because it's the letter they read that covers you before they get to the resume. I would do both. I know some people think cover letter is optional, but you'd be surprised. It can't hurt you to make a cover letter. And like I said, it's templates out there too that you can use as well, and try to personalize the template where it don't look so generic. But I would have both of these. You go to the job engine, you upload both of these. And if you have a good resume, good cover letter, sometimes companies will email you, they'll call you. But you have to make sure that you package it and present it in a way that makes sense, and depending on what field you're in. Some of the IT fields, this is just some of them. There's so many of them in IT, but this is just some of them, like the basic three. Help desk, IT support. Helping people solve their problems at a company, end users is what we call them. So they may have a problem with Excel. They may have a problem with Microsoft applications. They may need an update. They don't know how to do it. They may need a restart. They may need more RAM in their computer. All kind of things that's technology related, you will probably be working on. IT support specialist, another way of saying help desk, is just you have a little bit more of a broader scope of the things you be doing. And if your first time in IT, unless you know or you went to school for a specific thing, I would say this is a great start, IT or help desk, because it gives you a broad scope of what you're looking to do. You get to see before you get to those levels of systems administrator and programming. You get to see different companies. You get to see what they do. And systems administrator jobs, right? There's more on the server side, Active Directory, account management, Google Cloud, terminals, sometimes Linux in the terminal, working on the VMs, allocating resources, all those kind of things you do in systems. And this is more back end kind of position. Help desk is more front facing. If you're kind of a person that's not real good at dealing with people, you're more internal, dealing with things without having to deal with people, systems will be for you. Because you're dealing with the machines, you're learning how to do the back end of the computer network systems that people are using, and of Active Directory. I think Linux has a version of it as well, but most people use Active Directory Windows. And you're managing permissions and rules. All those things goes with systems administrator. And depending on where you work at, they may have it segmented out, or you may do everything that involves systems. The next one is programming. You got programmer, which pretty much anything that deals with programs, a task, you write it out in code. Web development, anything deals with the web page, HTML, PHP, stuff like that, JavaScript, CSS. SQL developer, that's the database guys. They on the back end, a database that runs scripts, automate tasks, and pull from tables, and make sure that the data is put in it with integrity. Then there's application development, different applications your business use, where like Salesforce, stuff like that, Workday, all kind of things. And what I mean that you got to be adaptable. Sometimes you work for a company. You may start out being a programmer and you may move into web development. Are you willing to learn web development? You may be in web development and you're moving to programming. Are you willing to learn programming? Are you willing to learn database? You don't have to be a database administrator, but are you willing to learn it in order to do the task at hand? Being adaptable is one of the most important things, I think, in any job field, but definitely IT, because it's constantly changing. It's constantly new things are happening. The companies are wanting to do new things and move away from the old things. Do not be afraid to hear no before you hear yes. When I first started trying to get that first IT job, I was getting rejected a lot. You don't have the experience, not quite what we're looking for, whatever, this and that, just no. And all you need is one yes, somebody just to give you the opportunity to come in, work, and gain that experience. All you need is one yes. Don't allow the no's to stop you from getting to the yes. So, I just talked about this. You hear those things, right? Not enough experience. They saying you too green, you don't have enough it's best to try to find entry-level jobs, because they can say this is not an entry-level position, but help desk is entry-level, IT support, entry-level. If you go to school or you get certifications or education in systems, they may start you out as a junior systems administrator. And then some people are just not willing to give you an opportunity. And that's all you're waiting for, being patient, is for somebody to give you an opportunity based on the talent that you come into the interview with, showing the aptitude to learn, being able to adapt, and being able to come in and be ready to work, be dependable, be consistent, and eventually you will find an opportunity. You just have to be patient. So all you need is one yes. Look at the no's as if they're missing out on great talent. That's how I would look at it if I was you. A lot of times people tell you no, maybe that's not the place for you to work. You want to go where you appreciate it and not tolerate it. You don't want to work in an environment where it's racially motivated or so politically motivated that if somebody don't like you, you could lose your job. Be patient. Find or wait on a situation that fits your personality, an atmosphere that you can thrive in. And if somebody tell you no, look at it as it's probably best that you didn't get the job there. It's probably wasn't for you. Wait until the yes. So with that being said, thanks for watching Tech Talk. Thanks for following CTM. And if you're not, I know there's a high percentage on YouTube that is not. Please hit the like, subscribe, help us grow, help us spread insight, help us spread the message to anybody that wants to hear it. We believe that if you want to, you can level up, you can increase your value and increase your chances of success. But you have to want to do it. Yo, this is Mike. I'm signing out. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what's some of the topics you want to hear about in IT, information technology, and I can make some content around it. But with that being said, thanks for watching. I am signing out.